Okay. So hi everybody. We today have Arushi, and Arushi is a junior at WWP HSC HSS and has passion for computer programming as it challenges her to think critically. She is the outreach director of her district's robotics team, and in addition is an avid programmer. She is the founder of Unknown16.com, a non-profit organization dedicated to UN Sustainable Development Goals, like supporting and educating female and minority interest in computer science and narrowing the racial and gender gap of participation in this field. We, the team at Sarkari School.in, always look for such people who contribute and give every bit of themselves to help the government schools and the underprivileged people. So, Arushi, we welcome you. And can you just introduce yourself to the audience? Like, where are you from? What do you do? What is your native state? And most importantly, how old are you?
All right, Rishika, thank you so much for the introduction. Hi, everybody. My name is Arushi Aggarwal, and I currently reside in New Jersey, USA. My native state, I was born in Haryana, India, did my schooling in Bangalore, and when I was 10 years old, I moved to New Jersey. I'm currently a junior, 16 years old in high school.
Oh, that's great. You're a 16-year-old, right?
Yep.
So, as we know that you're a change maker, but a lot of people in the audience are very eager to know that what is it that you actually do? Like, since you're under 16, right? So, because mostly a lot of people think that as to what a 16-year-old girl can do. So, I'd like to tell the audience.
Yeah, of course. So I think as a 16-year-old, I have something really special, which is the power of youth. Right? I have the power to make a difference because the actions that we take today are what impact my future. So I think that's what motivates me. That's what drives me because, you know, to take actions for the future. And that's why I want to do every single bit I can to build a better future for myself and for the upcoming generations.
Oh, that's great. That's really great to hear that our youth is, thinking about so much about their future and for everybody actually. So, where did you get the idea or the inspiration of the work that you're doing? Can you just briefly tell everybody that what exactly you're doing and where did you get the inspiration or the idea for that?
Yeah, of course. So when I was in eighth grade, my robotics team, like I mentioned in the introduction, we made it to the World Championship in
Oh,
Detroit,
wow.
Michigan, which is a state. And over there, I met so many teams from around the world, so many different teams. And what I noticed was a lot of teams were all girls teams. A lot of teams had, many girls participants. And then I compared to my own team because in my own team, out of 14 members, only two of them were girls.
Oh,
So that comparison, and I was young, I was not sure how to interpret this, but it was still very unsettling to see that comparison where the majority of my team members were boys, and then I'm seeing all these girl participants. So I was starting to question, why is this happening? And that's where things started to turn. That's where the pieces started to fall into place. So I started to talk to the participants themselves, the different mentors, and to ask the question why, right? Why is this happening? And they
yeah,
all gave one response, right? The confidence. A lot of girls, a lot of students don't have the confidence to try something new. And I'm sure
yeah,
it's always hard to try something new, to go into a new field, to explore something. The first step is always hard. So that
definitely.
confidence is what to build that confidence is what motivated me to start my initiative Unknown 16, where we provide
Okay.
resources and opportunities to young students to give them that confidence to try something
Yeah.
new, such as a STEM field and computer programming. And by resources, I mean curriculum. So I have developed curriculum such as in programming in Python, Java, Scratch, which is a block-based programming language, and when I first started Unknown 16, I was distributing it to various NGOs in India, my home country, and I got a lot of positive response. So I would start to take sessions. And when I was taking a class with one organization, I realized that before I could teach them programming, they needed to learn English,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So that's where everything started to fall into place. I started to develop English curriculums, make English lesson plans starting from nouns, adjectives, and coming up with these different ideas to teaching them English because,
Yeah.
and so far I've done this, I'm doing this for about 3 to 4 years now. I have taught over
Okay.
1,000 students now.
Oh, that's really great and pretty inspiring as to what you're doing. So now you being in New Jersey and the students that you're helping are in multiple cities of India. So everybody would like to know how do you find the connection and how do you help them? And now there would be a lot of challenges that you might face daily. So how did you overcome these challenges? Like
Yeah, I
it's
did.
a big travel gap between, right?
Right. I definitely agree with you. There were a lot of challenges in the beginning, but I
Okay.
think I had that motivation, that drive to really teach those students, right? And that helped me overcome those challenges. Now, one main challenge, like you mentioned, was the time difference,
Yes,
right? So,
definitely.
and because they didn't have, they had a very limited time slot, and I wanted to kind of make myself extremely flexible for them. So I was waking up at 5 a.m. on the weekends to, be able to take
Oh,
classes for whatever time is suitable for them or, stay up
yeah.
late. Because for me, that wasn't really an important factor anymore because I just wanted to teach them. That's all that mattered. Another big challenge was the language barrier. It had been a
Oh,
while since
yes.
I'd spoken Hindi. Um, so yeah, definitely that language barrier was there, but I started to come up with different solutions to overcome that barrier and help form that connection. One such solution was that in my curriculums, I asked my students to take pictures of different objects around their house or in the surroundings, such as a door, a lock,
Yeah.
anything. And I would incorporate those pictures into my lesson plans. So basically, whatever I teach them, I would
Yeah.
incorporate these pictures so they have that connection, that familiarity that, they can make that, oh, I know this, and it helps them to learn better. So I was able to come that language barrier and form that connection with them that way. And also, I guess that the entire process, my Hindi improved.
Oh, wow,
Google
that's
Translate,
great.
yep, Google Translate, teaching them. So there was that benefit too.
Okay, like what you thought about, making a connection with the surrounding elements. It is so innovative of you that I think a lot of people won't even have the idea to do that. Now, as you said that you were in school, right? So, how do you manage your studies as well as helping these students? Because of course you
Yeah.
do have a life, so like how do you manage to do that, both of them?
So when I first started these classes, I was in ninth grade, just starting high school, which is where like the
Okay.
hardest part of my, I guess, my education journey. Yeah, but I'll say it was a bit hard because and I wanted to teach, but I also had my schoolwork, my
Yeah.
extracurriculars, other priority, and so priorities started return to blur. But a really important skill that I learned in the process was time management, right?
Okay.
When I have that drive to do something, a solution was just, I was able to come with a solution because I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. Like, not, I didn't want to sacrifice my, school, right? So, in order to come with a solution to create that balance between everything, I really had to improve and step up my time management skills, which is definitely a plus for the future, also. So, yeah, the weekends, I was able to take time, weekdays, even on weekdays, on weekends, to develop lesson plans, come up with different, subjects or chapters for each level of English, and just take classes. And I was able to do everything. And I definitely, with my school too, and definitely my parents, right, my teachers, they were all so supportive of everything. My mentors, robotics team, and with that support, I really was able to, keep that balance with everything.
That's so great. I mean, and when do you used to take your take the classes? Like on weekdays, or was it on weekends, or throughout the week?
So initially, I was taking them on weekends, like I said, that in the morning time weekends, and that's when
Okay.
most of my students were comfortable with. But as the pandemic happened, so the timings were, it was really unpredictable, the timing. So I had to be extremely flexible on my side. So I would usually take multiple sessions. So I have partnered up with, students in Jharkhand, students in Delhi, students in Bihar. So sometimes like night sessions at like 11 p.m. on,
Oh,
anytime they're comfortable with, because, they might have a lot of unpredictable, like if they have a storm, right? They don't have Wi-Fi anymore. So
yes.
I really had to be flexible with that. Um, so I would be willing to take session anytime. That was my
Okay, so
thing.
like this pandemic happened, so did it, suffer any of the things that you were doing with the students earlier?
I would say most probably not, because it's all virtual anyways.
Yeah.
Right. Most of they would usually gather in a large group, which it wasn't as feasible with the pandemic. So sometimes the older students would join like by themselves and not be part of the large group, but the younger students would still be part of the group. But not really. Everything was virtual, and I would say that their villages, like in the slum area, the tribal villages, weren't as affected by the pandemic
Okay.
rather than like the urban
Yes,
areas.
yes.
So I would say, fortunately that their education, at least, or my support wasn't compromised. And that was, a really great part.
Oh, that's so amazing. So, like a lot of audience in the comment sections are really proud of you, and they're appreciating
Thank
you a
you.
lot. So I just thought I should tell you. So now,
Thank
who do
you.
you think your role model or inspiration is? Like, where did you get the inspiration from?
So, I would say my really big inspiration is Malala. Her contributions and, her contributions to this field are just so inspiring, right? I have followed her, from the very beginning, and I think she's just such a great inspiration for me and so many people out there, no matter the age. And also another inspiration I would say are my students, right? Whether I'm teaching them
Oh,
programming or English, when they learn something, I feel like whenever somebody learns something, they have that aha moment, right? I understand this. Or whenever their code or their project works, they're like, oh, wow, right? You can see that sparkle in their
yeah,
eyes. And that fact that I was able to, contribute to that, I was able to contribute to that, that feeling, that aha moment is what inspires me to continue teaching, to come up with out of the box ideas to help these
yeah.
students and help them grow.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So now you being a girl yourself, do you think that we have an even or equal learning space for every girl?
So I would say equal learning space. I think we are definitely, with the amount, I think there's definitely a lot of awareness that is happening right now. There are a lot of campaigns, a lot of people spreading about this issue, but now is the time to take action, right? It's time to turn those awareness, those words into action. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying, that's what my, passion is, that my drive is to turn that, to make that equal space into a reality. So I think that we are closer than ever, right? With the amount of leaders, the amount of, youth stepping up to make this change a reality.
Yes, that's definitely true. So, in India, as you know, girl education is not all taken seriously in the urban areas, or suburban or the rural areas. So, like people just think of it as a wasteful venture, and they don't think that educating a girl is important. So, till what extent do you think this is true, and what is it that we can do?
I mean, it's just so disheartening, concerned to see that some people still have this kind of mindset, and but it's a completely flawed mindset, right? I'm gonna say that empowering girls, educating girls is the future for
Yeah.
everything, right? For the social impact, for economy, educating girls again is the future. So, I mean, the people, um, so again, people have this mindset, but we are going towards a future where, we will make it important to everyone that, or that educating girls again is the future. So we're definitely
Okay.
getting towards there.
Okay, so like as you know कि स्कूल में the enrollment of girls बहुत कम होता है as compared to boys. So उसका basic reason, like what can be the basic reason for it?
So some reasons, Joe, that I can think of is one of social precedents that are happened that a lot of villages, how previous generations, and then also lack of family and like family support, right? A lot of parents are unable to send to send the girls to school. So
Yeah,
that's what my initiative is all about, to provide every single resource, every opportunity to give them that support to help these girls, right? To give them that confidence. So,
yeah,
a lot of times that they don't have that support, they don't feel like, oh, I can't really do this, is this really for me? You know, so I think under 16 as, or my volunteers or any youth, we should be able to give them that support to eliminate that mindset, right? Give them that
yeah.
confidence that you have every right to an equal
Yes,
education.
definitely. Definitely, definitely. So, Arushi, do you think that the younger generation, who is, far more privileged than these people and are taking up high studies, can be a part of this girl child education initiative? And, how can they come forward in the support of this initiative? Would you like to tell everybody?
Yeah, of course. I think so I'm very grateful to have an amazing team of volunteers behind me, and there are multiple ways that we they contribute. Again, by writing blog posts and articles about these issues, about designing curriculums, actually teaching these students, and that's how a lot of youth can help, right? And it's not simple at all. All I'm doing is taking Skype and Zoom lessons and
Yeah,
teaching the students, right? So we don't have to come up with extremely complicated solutions, right? Just a small step, right? Just a small step can make a difference, a huge difference in someone's life, right? In a student's life. So just, I would, we would love to work with different volunteers. We have all the curriculum and the material ready. We just,
yeah,
we have volunteers coming in, we would distribute it to them, and they can just teach classes, right? Take sessions. So nothing too complicated, right? Just go hopping on Zoom call and taking a class, right? Just
yeah.
taking classes that can really, make a huge difference in that student's life.
Okay. So I forgot to ask one thing as to, are you working alone on this, or do you have a dedicated team to do this, job? And since like it is a virtual thing, so are you handling it all alone, or there are some people who are helping you?
Yeah, so I definitely have, again, a great team behind me, some of my own high school friends. I actually work with a lot of people from across the world, right? So I
Okay.
have a lot of volunteers in India. So it's suitable for them because they live in India. So the time is a bit
Yeah.
suitable. So they're taking classes in India. My friends here were developing curriculums, right, from programming to English curriculums. And yes, I have a great team. We have some volunteers, writers, content writers, who are writing blog posts and articles. So lots of different position, lots of different interests, all coming together for one goal, right? For one reason, to bring equal education to every student.
Yeah. Like kudos to your team, and you are doing a commendable job. So, like, what do you think is the future of girl child education? Like, what is your vision or dream regarding this?
So my dream, again, is for every girl to feel that they have every right for an equal education, right? To not feel as if that they don't deserve it, to feel as other priorities come first, such as, maybe working. No, right?
Yeah.
Education should be a main priority because education is what leads to a brighter and better future, right? It's for every girl to have that opportunity, no matter what,
Okay.
right? So no social pressure, no, there should be no factors that have more importance than education.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do anything I can, whatever I can to make that dream a reality.
Okay, that's great. So, like, where do you see yourself and this cultural education initiative in maybe we say 5 years from now?
I think definitely much more scalable across India, right? That would be my ultimate goal for now, that all across India and students across the world have an equal access to education, that youth are standing up, right? A lot of volunteers were standing up, were taking classes, right? Just simple Zoom classes for these students, right? All across the world. We're, connecting with students, connecting with organizations, and just my passion is that every single youth, we all stand up together, united, to help these students.
Oh, that's amazing. Like you, I think you have inspired a lot of audience and myself. And anything that you'd like to say about Sarkari School.in initiative, and how can we collaborate in future to work together for this great cause?
So I think the work that, sorry, my
Sarkari School.
pronunciation is not
It's
so good.
okay. It's okay.
So
It's okay.
I think the work that all of you are doing is so inspirational. I was, reading about it. And I think so SCG, so the United Nations that I mentioned before, SG number 17 is partnership for the goals. And I think collaboration and partnership is key because we can scale, right? We can make such a great impact when organizations come together, right, with a common purpose. So Unknown 16, we would love to collaborate in any fronts, right? Developing curriculums, taking the classes itself,
Yeah.
right? So I think collaboration is so important in order to really make a huge impact.
Yes, yes, definitely. We are really looking forward to work with you. I think this should bring us to the end of the interview. Uh, so like it was really, really, really amazing to have you today with us. And I can just keep on reading the comments. They're just, filled with your appreciation and how proud everybody is of you. And we, the team of Sarkari School.in, just kudos to you and your team for whatever you're doing, like sitting in New Jersey and helping the children get everything related to education that they want. Having that opportunity, and managing everything along with your studies and this work. It is just so inspiring, and congratulations to you for this. And thank you so much for joining with me today for this interview. I hope you really liked it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rashika, for having me and for your organization. And I think everybody in the comments, I would encourage everybody. I would love you to connect with you, for you to reach out, and we would love for you to host classes and sessions.
Yeah.
We're always looking forward to for more volunteers to take classes. We're always open to grow. Yeah, so it's really great talking to you. Yeah, thank you so much. And I look forward
Thank
for
you
future
so much.
collaboration.
Yes, yes, for sure. We do too. And thank you so much for to the audience as well who have been such patient listeners. And I think I'll end this interview right here. Thank you so much, everybody.